So I got really worried about the comments from the previous video because it shows that I'm not getting my message across on this channel the way I'd like for everyone. So in this video, I'll address 2 comments, explain to you guys about the best breakfasts, a video I made with the help of nutritionist Isadora, and the worst breakfasts, those foods you should avoid in the morning if you're diabetic, and then I'll share 3 pieces of advice I'd give to any diabetic. Let's start by addressing the first comment that really worried me, about bread. You guys were confused. Many people didn't understand what I said about bread because I ranked bread as one of the worst foods. But in the best foods video, we also mentioned bread. But you should understand, and let's make it clear here that in the worst foods video, I mentioned bread with jelly, that sweetened fruit jelly. Even if there's no added sugar, it still has the fruit sugar. So imagine, you take a white bread with white flour, add more sugar to it, put fruit jelly on it. Do you think that's going to be good or bad for a diabetic? It's going to be terrible. Now imagine the best breakfasts. A slice of whole grain bread, which has fibers, that helps lower the glycemic index, along with a bit of tuna or shredded chicken. Do you see the huge difference? Because here I'm adding what? Protein. So we have a complex carbohydrate with fibers that will slow down the absorption, will lower the insulin spike, the blood sugar spike as well, along with another food that will help doing this, and also being a source of protein, like shredded chicken. So on one hand we have this, and on the other we have white bread with jelly, more sugar. You see that it's not about the bread itself, it's not that bread is forbidden, I'm against that kind of prohibition, it's not that. Just that one falls into the worst category, and one falls into the best. So it's not about the bread itself, but what comes with the bread, and also the type of bread, that can change everything. So far so good? Do you get it about bread? So write in the comments, I understood the bread issue, because that's important to me, so I won't worry anymore. It'll reassure me that I'm effectively communicating with everyone here. And the second comment I wanted to address, which also got me really concerned, was about milk. In the first video, we talked about a smoothie, a shake, depending on where you are. What is it? It's milk plus a fruit. And I also mentioned milk and shakes in the second video, about the worst breakfast. But what's the difference? In the worst foods video, it's about milk and chocolate syrup, where you're adding more sugar, or maybe another fruit, like a banana. So you're combining milk with banana, and even blending it, which is not a good thing for people watching their carbs or sugars. And on the other hand, Isadora also suggested a milkshake with avocado. But the avocado is an exception, since it's low in carbs, very few carbs. A portion of avocado that you'd put into milk has about 2 grams of carbs, while a banana can have 20 or more. Do you see that difference? And when it comes to chocolate syrup, well, it's got a ton of sugar. So it's not about the milk itself. Same thing goes with bread. You can take milk and turn it into something good. That's not a major source of sugars. Or you can take milk and add chocolate syrup, adding more sugar. Or add a fruit, which by itself already has a high sugar content. There's a huge difference between these 2 situations. If you didn't understand this in the first video, I hope you get it now. Many people also commented that diabetics shouldn't drink milk. That's a myth. Diabetics can indeed drink milk. The thing is, lots of folks may be lactose intolerant or allergic to milk. So in those cases, you'll need to skip it. But for the most part, it's not a big issue, as long as you keep track of how much milk you're consuming, alright? I'm talking about a regular amount of milk you'd pour for breakfast, like 200 ml, which is a glass. Did the milk part make sense? Got that? All good now? Then let me know, because this is important, or else I might have to make another video. So what's the advice I'd give any diabetic? But before we get into that, let's set a like goal. Since there are 3 pieces of advice, let's aim for 3,000 likes. I didn't set this goal at the beginning of the video, you guys always tell me to. So let's aim for 3,000 likes. This way, the system or the platform will promote the video more since it will think it's useful, so I'm counting on your support. Firstly, you gotta understand glycemic load. Glycemic load is the amount of carbs or sugar in each serving or food item. I see lots of diabetics worrying tons about glycemic index, which is about how much a certain food will raise your blood sugar and cause an insulin spike. So the glycemic index is definitely important, super important, but glycemic load is just as important, if not more. Do you think watermelon is a good or bad fruit for diabetes? Most people would probably say it's bad because it has a high glycemic index, and it really does. Watermelon has a glycemic index of 72, but it's actually a good fruit. Hold on, but if it has a high glycemic index but a low glycemic load because it doesn't have much sugar, then you can have watermelon if you like it. A serving of watermelon only has a little bit of carbs, even though those carbs have a high glycemic index. So it's not just about the glycemic index, but also the volume. You probably didn't know about the watermelon thing, right? Most folks must have thought watermelon was a bad fruit. So that's why understanding the whole glycemic load and glycemic index concept is so vital. Number 2, Don't compare yourself to others. This is something I would also say to every diabetic, because diabetes is a very unique disorder. Its effects can vary greatly from one person to another. Just because something happened to another diabetic person, it doesn't mean it will happen to you too. This often leads to unnecessary worry in diabetics. If you're always anxious, we already know what happens. Your levels of cortisol shoot up, adrenaline increases, and your blood sugar levels rise too. So don't stress out unnecessarily just because something happened to someone else. It doesn't mean it will happen to you. So avoid constantly comparing yourself. The reverse is also true. Just because something works for someone else, it doesn't mean it'll work for you. Maybe they have a different type of diabetes, or maybe their diabetes is at a different stage. It varies a lot, so don't keep comparing yourself, okay? The third piece of advice, don't believe in miracle supplements or substances. There's no tea, food, or supplement that will single-handedly cure or reverse diabetes. Often when you're vulnerable due to your condition, you fall for false promises. I see comments like these every day, and I can assure you that they are not true. What you can rely on are changes in your lifestyle, implementing several adjustments in your daily habits to improve your diabetes and the levels of sugar in your blood. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate this video? If it's a 10, I'll make more videos like this. What city are you watching this from? Where are you located in the world? I'm speaking from Porto Alegre. Let me know where you are by commenting down below. As I mentioned lifestyle changes, I'll leave you with a video suggestion. It's a video where I share 12 tips that can help to lower your blood sugar levels and control your glycated hemoglobin. You can find the tips in this video. I'm sure you're going to find it helpful. Take care.